My name is Shirley Burdock, and my husband John and I are host parents to some youth, a couple of sisters in Kentville, and we work with the Portal. Well, I became a host home because my upbringing was one that started off sort of pretty average. Two parents, an income and a half back in the 70s. But my father had mental health challenges that were quite significant. And so when I was an early teen, my life sort of turned upside down. And the reason that I lived to see another day and have a great life is because my mother was steadfast. She was not perfect, but she was always there for me. And so I became aware, since I started my work, especially as a health promoter here in the Valley, that there's a lot of youth that are going through similar but different to what I went through myself. And if they don't have somebody that can help them navigate and find their place and find their voice, then they are not going to have the kind of sort of happy, somewhat contented life that I've had. And so I figured that there was a role that I could play, and my husband was supportive because he grew up in a very loving family and knows that that's why he's as happy and well-adjusted as he is. The best part, I would say, has definitely been the introduction of energy back into the household, and especially for me, it's girl energy. I've raised 3 boys, many years as a single parent, and they're happy and adjusted in families of their own. And as wonderful as it was, I always realized I kind of would have liked to have had some girl energy around. It's not enough to have pets that are female. And so I was really glad to have the opportunity to have a couple of young women in our home. And yeah, that's probably been some of the best of it. And being asked for my opinion, that's a treat, when you're used to having kids around and having your thoughts and your experience sort of respected and called upon at certain times, and even to just get an outside perspective. It's great to be able to provide that when it's asked for, and so that's been really great. This pandemic bites. That's what I would say has been, in terms of sort of the greatest challenge, in what normal expectations would be. You've got somebody living with you and they go to school and they're out and about and they're seeing their friends and they're going to the mall or they're going to a movie and then they're at home. So that was always my experience with my kids growing up. You throw a pandemic into the mix, and we started in the midst of a pandemic as being a host family, and you've got a significant increase in the home time. And so it just means that it's been a little bit more of an adjustment in terms of sharing space, right? It's that the bathrooms are more occupied than they maybe would be if people were out. And so it's just been sort of those logistics that have been the greatest challenge. Well, I don't think I went into this naively, but I will say that my outlook on life has not been one to sort of look for sinister intent in people, and I don't find it. So I guess my understanding in working with the Portal, and first of all, I guess the thing would be to say the Portal is probably the reason that this works really well, because you're not taking people into your home that you have not met. You're not taking people into your home that you haven't been given some introduction and context to. But also there's ongoing support that's provided. So so there's that. That's really fundamental. But the other thing too is that, much like, my situation when I was younger, if I would have been in need, it would have been because I didn't have resources around me to support. It wouldn't have been because I was a bad person or I was a dangerous person. It's just that I was in need of support and direction. And that's what the situation is for youth in the Valley, is they're needing that. So I wasn't looking for dangers, but I was aware. I think I certainly don't think we went into it without open eyes, but at the same time, we're pretty familiar with raising youth. My husband's got 4 children from a previous relationship, so we've got 7 kids between us, and we were sort of expecting very much sort of what we have going on right now, which is good. Well, my hope is that, and I'm sure, it depends on the degree of sort of success in the match, I think, and I think all parties are responsible for what builds it into being either a really good experience or not. But what I hope comes out of it is the sense of stability and the sense of being appreciated for who you are, and not who you might be, but just being accepted for who you are right now, and the understanding that you're worth the success that you'll find if you're given the supports, and if you show the drive and find the drive within yourself to pursue things. And that's whatever you define as success, right? It's not what I define, but it's being able to find your voice, and that it helps to have people around who have been through some of it to help you do that. So that's, I think, what they'll find is safety, support, nutritious food, a safe place to be, and I think that's really important for all of us.
Okay, so you've been thinking about becoming a host home. This is different from foster care. Because when you're a foster family, you are in charge of guardianship of the child or youth. Youth that are in host homes are between the ages of 16 to 19, so generally speaking, they're their own guardian. So what hosting entails is making sure you're providing a safe bedroom, access to food, and just some regular check-ins, how you doing, and then letting us know if there's anything that you see that we need to know about in terms of what's happening in the lives of the youth that are in your house. The process is fairly simple. You would want to submit an application to me, and then we would do some criminal record checks, child abuse registry checks, and then we move into the training phase, and to make sure that you feel comfortable and confident with hosting. And then after that, we work on matching. So we do some meet and greets with youth that we think might be a good fit for your particular home. And then we start signing some paperwork and setting out expectations for what it looks like for that youth being in your home. At the same time, I'm also screening the youth. So I'm making sure that this is somewhere they want to be, because host homes are not a placement. It's something that the youth are choosing to participate in. And also we're just screening to make sure that the youth are a good fit for your particular home and kind of the rhythms of your home, and that those things are a good match. And then I usually follow up at least to start once a week to make sure everything's going okay, or to address any issues that have come up. And then after that, I'm available by email, by phone, by text, and I'm the regular support person for the host home, and then the youth has their regular support person as a youth outreach worker.